back to my sister's diary, the podcast where it feels like you've snuck into your sister's diary and found all of her unfiltered stories, thoughts, confessions, and things she'd never say out loud. I'm your host, Sam, and I'm excited for today's episode. It's going to be a fun one. How's everyone feeling today? How is everyone feeling? I mentally am feeling fantastic, truly. Physically, though, I'm not. I'm kind of down in the dumps, and I'll tell you why. It's because I've been eating like garbage the last week. Not even the last couple of days, literally a week. Because my husband's birthday was last Sunday, and then my daughter's birthday was on Wednesday, and then my family came out for the weekend, and we had pizza and snacks and like all that stuff. So I went from having birthday cake and ice cream to 3 days later, having birthday cake and ice cream again. And then, and pizza that night for my daughter's birthday. And then I ate leftover pizza. And then I had pizza again the next day. And then I had brownies and candy. And I have just not been, treating my body the way it deserves to be treated. And my stomach is hating me right now. It's kicking me in the butt. And I hope you guys are all feeling a little better than I am. I'm doing fine. I just am a little dramatic when it comes to pain because I don't like to be in pain. Who does? But I don't. Let me tell you what we're talking about today. Enough about my stomach. We're talking about hills. Hills we're willing to die on. And in case you don't know what that means, I'm sure everybody does. But in case you don't, it's opinions, thoughts, whatever we have that we truly believe in, and we will not change our mind. So it's something that we will defend until the day we die. The hill will die on, essentially. And you will defend it no matter what. I asked my Instagram followers for hills they were willing to die on, and I got some interesting responses. Some of them are a little bit, controversial for sure. And some of them are a little deeper than others, but I'm gonna read most of them. I think all of them, actually. Yeah, I think I have all of them. No, I don't. I have probably half. Okay, anyway, sorry. You guys don't care about that part. Anyway, that's what we're gonna do today, and I'm really excited. I'll tell you a couple of mine, but I'm really gonna keep that portion really short because I want to dive into your guys' stories very quickly. But first, before we get started with any of that, we need to read my diary. I need to read you some of my diary entry for the week. Actually, I only have one. The only one I really need to talk about, honestly, I've been putting this off because I'm like, oh, nobody wants to hear about it. But I think I have more listeners that watch than I think because people will always message me whenever I talk about it on Instagram. And it's the summer I turned pretty. I need to talk about it. I need to quit being in the dark about it. I need to share my thoughts and opinions a little bit out loud because I've been obsessed with the show since it came out. Actually, no. It came out, I don't remember which year. It wasn't last year. I don't know. Whenever it came out, I watched it. I binged it in like 2 nights. I'm not kidding. 2 nights. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I need more of this show. And so then I read the books. And then the next season came out. And then there was a whole year between the last season and this new season, and I need to talk about it. I need to talk about it to somebody. So I'm going to talk about it to you guys, and I'll tell you what I've done recently. I did another reread of the books before the season came out because I just want a little refresher, and I have recently done a rewatch of the series as well. And my thoughts on those things are, I still hate Jeremiah. I was like going into it a little bit more open-minded and being like, okay, let's give him a chance. But watching it again, the show specifically, I'm like, why is anybody Team Jeremiah? Like, it's clearly Conrad and Belly's story. Like, that's the story that's being told. That's the only reason this story needs told in the first place. Like, it's about Belly, yes, but it's about their love story. So I don't understand how anybody is like Team Jeremiah because they don't fit. I don't know how to explain it. I'm acting like these are real people. I know they're not, whatever. They're fictional characters, but the story is Conrad and Belly's story. And regardless of how you think Jeremiah treats Belly, that's not the point. The point is Conrad and Belly love each other and they're soulmates. Okay. That's the whole point. So in the books, though, I will give Jeremiah a little bit of credit because as I'm reading it, I'm like, why was I ever Team Conrad? Like, when I'm reading the first book and the second book, I'm really like, okay, I kind of like Jeremiah for Belly in the books. I don't know. Maybe if I read it again, I'll be like, okay, yeah, Conrad is fine. But in the books, he kind of acts like a jerk. But it also, the books and the show, people are like, they're totally different. But the writer of the books is like producing the show, right? So in my mind, I'm like, well, she's showing the show, she's showing these characters in the way that she like wanted them to come across on a TV screen and not wanted them to be interpreted in her book. Does that make sense? So I'm like, you can't say they're two separate things because it's by the same creator. She created this world. So why would she show us a completely different story? She wouldn't. She wouldn't do that. So anyone who's saying it's going to be Belly and Jeremiah at the end, I just simply think you're delusional. I don't think she would do that. That would be crazy. I understand people are like, well, the Vampire Diaries ended different than the books. Yeah, but the person who wrote the books didn't help produce the show. They didn't help. And I know there's been other adaptations that end different than the book, but I can't think of a lot where the author of the books helps write the show. I don't understand why she would change it, because these books came out in like 2009. It's been a long time, and people would be very upset. I feel like she would upset a lot of her fans if she changed the ending. Anyway, let's get back to the show. Let's talk about season 3 a little bit. We have had way too many Belly and Jeremiah scenes. We've had way too many. I was okay with like a montage at the beginning, and then I wanted to see more of Belly and Conrad at the summer house. I know we got some like iconic scenes from the books, but I wanted more. I wanted more of them interacting. I wanted more specifically of Belly's inner dialogue. That was completely missing from most, like the first half of the show, the first half of the season, I mean. And that is kind of a bummer to me because it provides so much context of what's going on in Belly's head. And that's important because the actions she's taking don't match her inner dialogue. And so you really see the struggle that she's having. But when you don't have that inner dialogue, you only have her actions to go off of. And you're like, yeah, she clearly doesn't like Conrad. That's why you need her inner dialogue, because like the beach scene, for example, the inner dialogue was important there because it helps you understand why she was so harsh to Conrad. She says to herself, like, I need to get this right. I need to make sure he lets go. Like she's trying to get him to let go of her and trying to get herself to let go of him. So that's why she's so harsh to him. It's not that I don't know. Not that she feels those things exactly. She's just trying to get him to let her go. So she's just being delusional. She's trying to lie to herself, trying to convince herself that she loves Jeremiah in the same way she loves Conrad. And it's very clear in the books and very clear, I think, in the show. I don't understand how people don't see it, that she loves Conrad and she's always loved Conrad. And yeah, whatever. The other thing is, why is everybody being so mean to Conrad? Why is everyone being so mean? I understand he blew up the wedding, whatever. However, I think this is Belly's fault. It's Belly's fault. She knew she still loved Conrad. She knew she would always love him. She lied to Jeremiah, said there's nothing between Conrad and I. She kept saying this. Jeremiah knew that she loved Conrad. Conrad, I don't know if he knew that Belly loved him, but he knew he loved her. So that part I understand, but I'm like, he's not the only person who did something wrong here. And the only reason he told Belly that he wanted her and that he still loved her was because he found out about Jeremiah cheating. And that makes a difference, because before he thought that Jeremiah was the best person for her, that he would never hurt her, that they were good together, and that he deserved her, she deserved him, whatever. And then once he found that out, he's like, this isn't what I thought it was. Like you know what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? That's my opinion on that. And Steven specifically is going way too hard on Conrad. I'm like, bro, chill out. When he's like, you left me. You didn't check up on me one time. And I'm like, did you call him? Like, did you call him? And I don't know. Maybe he did, but they didn't make that clear in the show. So I only have my assumptions, which my assumptions are that he didn't reach out to Conrad either. And Conrad went to college. He didn't just get up and move for no good reason. Like, he's going to Stanford. Everybody knows that was his dream school. So why are they being so mean and mad about it? And also, why would you want to stick around and watch your brother date your ex-girlfriend? You wouldn't. Even if it wasn't the love of your life, you wouldn't want to stick around and watch your brother date your ex-girlfriend. that nobody would want that. I blame Belly mostly for that whole situation. I did feel bad. Well, not bad. Yeah, I felt empathy for Jeremiah in episode 9. I think his actor, Gavin, I can't say his last name, but he did a really good job during the scene where they're breaking up, just kind of talking to her and showing like his emotion. And I was like, I get it. Like, I understand him being like, it's not enough that you love me if you still love Conrad, because I think he knows that the love she has for Conrad will never be the same as the love she has for him. And he wants that love. He wants the love that she has for Conrad. When he says, you've never looked at me that way, not even one time, I don't think he's wrong. I think he's right in that. I think Belly needs to admit it to herself that, yeah, I do think that she loves Jeremiah. She wanted to get married to him. She clearly loves him. But I don't think in the same way that she loves Conrad. And I think that will become much more clear as the season goes on. Okay, let's talk. Okay, really quick. Last thing I'm going to say is for the next 2 episodes, this podcast comes out on Tuesday. So I haven't watched episode 10 yet. What I'm worried is going to happen is we're not going to get Conrad's letter to Belly until the end of episode 10. And then they're going to be finding their way back to each other all of episode 11. And we're not going to get a lot of scenes of them together. And then it's just going to be like a quick wrap up at the last 2 minutes of the series, where it just kind of shows like a montage of their life, which will be fine. Like, I do want a montage of their life if they're going to end up together. But I don't want it to feel the same way that the book did, where it was like an epilogue, kind of like an afterthought of like, because to me, like, an epilogue is kind of optional to read. Like, you don't have to read it. So I don't want it to feel like it's rushed, or it's like, oh, this, in case you wanted to know, this also happens or whatever. I hope they give us a little more time seeing them happy together, and like maybe seeing them get married or something, instead of just like a quick cutoff of like, oh, let's be together. And then there's 2 minutes left and it shows like a really quick montage of them getting married and their kids and whatever. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope we get a little bit more than that. But, I'm not going to be mad if that happens. I just want more, if that makes sense. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on from The Summer I Turned Pretty. And if you guys don't listen to that or don't watch that, you should. And I know the first season is cringy. I know it. I don't even care, though. I don't care that some of them are bad actors. I don't care how cringy it is. I still love it. And you will love it, too, if you just give it a chance. One of my sisters, she has not watched it, and I've begged her. I'm like, just try. You have to get through the first season, get through the first couple episodes of season 1, and then you'll be hooked. Okay, you'll be hooked, and I promise you won't be able to stop thinking about it. You won't be able to stop. All right, let's move on for real this time. Let's talk about some opinions that we hold so strongly we would literally die on a hill for. And let me share I mean 2 of my own. And I shared these on Instagram, but I'll talk about them a little bit more. The first one is that Nickelback doesn't suck. I'm so sick of people making fun of Nickelback. I understand, okay? I understand a little bit. But at the same time, I'm like, don't pretend like you didn't listen. Don't pretend like you didn't have their CD blasted in your car in 2007. Don't pretend like that didn't happen, because it did. And you can't now be like, oh yeah, they're dumb, just because it's a trend. Let's all just admit to ourselves that Nickelback has a couple bangers and they're great songs. Everybody knows them. And why does everybody know them? Because they're good songs. That's why. All right, next one is Princess Diaries 2 is better than Princess Diaries 1. I just like the love story a little bit better. I just didn't really feel that connected to, I can't even remember his name, the Lily's brother. I can't remember his name, really. And I just didn't like their relationship. I didn't like that. I liked parts of the first movie, but the second movie, to me, she's just more confident.
I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place. with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
Oh, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. Get more with Geico.
And I like where they're set in Genovia and all the things. I just like it so much better. And I really think it tops the first one. And not a lot of sequels top the original, but I think that one definitely does. All right. Let's move on to yours. The first one is the most cliche thing I've ever heard, but I do have to talk about it. And it says, pineapple does belong on pizza. Please. I'm so sick of talking about this. Whatever you want to put on a pizza is fine. Truly. I don't care. But if I don't want to eat pineapple pizza, don't make me. I'm not going to do it. If you're ordering pizza with a group of people, don't order pineapple pizza. Like, say there's a group of people and you're only getting 2 pizzas and they're like, okay, let's get pepperoni or cheese for the first one. And then the second one, don't get pineapple, because chances are not everybody is going to like the pineapple, and you can live without the pineapple pizza. You can live without it. So just get something a little more generic that more people are going to like. People who are like diehard pineapple pizza fans and they just want everybody to love it the same way they do, stop. Just stop doing it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares that much. You can like whatever you want to like. The fact of the matter is, there's no person in the world that likes every single thing they've ever eaten. So why do we care so much? My personal opinion is I hate pineapple on pizza because I hate the thought of warm pineapple. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I mean, I'd eat it if I had to, but like I would really prefer not to. My husband, however, he does like pineapple on pizza, but he is a good sport about it. Rarely, I don't ever think we've ever actually ordered pineapple pizza before. You know, it's like pineapple pizza, but it also has Canadian bacon on it, which I also kind of hate Canadian bacon. So that just is not a good combo for me. But anyway, everybody can do whatever the heck they want with pizza, but don't order pineapple pizza for a large group of people because you like pineapple pizza. Because chances are most people don't like it. Okay, moving on. This one says, social media ruined childhoods and also every, quote, hidden gem tourist spot. Actually, everything. Social media ruined everything. I was thinking about this the other day, actually, about how the childhood that I had growing up is not even possible anymore. Like I had so much less pressure from the outside world because I didn't really have access to it. Like people are getting phones these days at like 7 years old, sometimes 6 years old. And not that they have Instagram, but I'm like, you're already connecting them to the outside world, which is just crazy to me. And I mean, everybody has their own reasons for doing it. Some people do it for safety. Some people, I'm not going to judge parenting in that way, but definitely I think that there's a different feel for childhood these days and how kids are going to grow up, especially with social media, especially as teenagers and like tweens. I think that people care way more about other people's opinions than ever before, which is crazy to me because when I was that age, I cared so much about their opinions. But now I can't even imagine what it would be like to have Instagram at 13 years old. That would be insane. Because even I, as a almost 30-year-old woman, sometimes catch myself like comparing my body to other women's bodies or like my personality to other people's personalities on Instagram or TikTok. And I can't imagine doing that at 13 years old where like I don't know who I am. I'm trying to figure it out and just being lost and having all these outside opinions on everything. So yeah, I just think we need to disconnect as often as possible. And not that like you shouldn't have social media. It's going to be a part of our world forever. So I think teaching your kids how to use it properly is important. You can't just be like, never ever use it. At least that's my opinion. There's going to be parents who are like, no, absolutely no social media. That's fine. And maybe as my kids get older, I will feel more strongly about them not having access to it. But I also want them to learn how to use it in a safe way. That's just going to have to be something I figure out when it comes to that point. But disconnecting in the sense that like you don't have to have your phone in every room of your house. Like you can leave it in your bedroom and go watch a movie and not be on your phone at the same time. Like this constant hit of dopamine that we need from our phones, or serotonin, whatever the thing is crazy. I will sometimes find myself on my laptop doing something while watching a movie and playing a game on my phone. That's 3 screens. That is crazy to me. And I'm an adult, but I can't imagine doing that as a child. Like, I feel like it takes away so much creativity from kids and like inventive minds, because they have access to all these things that they can just look at instead of like going outside and doing stuff. So I don't know. I agree with it. Not necessarily ruining childhoods, but it's definitely changing the way kids are experiencing the world, which is kind of scary because this is uncharted territory. Also about the hidden gem tourist spots. Absolutely. I was also thinking about this the other day. I was like, there's going to come a point in time where every square inch of the earth, I mean, except for the ocean, I guess, will be untouched. No, will be touched by human life. Like there's not going to be a single spot where you can go and it hasn't been like explored before. There hasn't been a bunch of people there. Like even going camping now in places we went when I was a kid, I was like, this is so much different than it was when I was a kid. It's you can tell it's been more used, and I don't know, it's kind of freaky to think about. And all these places are just like riddled with people now. All these places that used to be, I don't know, because not that like word of mouth is how you spread like where cool things are, you know. But when influencers or people with a lot of followers or something like that post these places and they're like, this is really cool, their millions of followers are going to be like, yeah, I want to go there. And so it's just going to flood these places that used to be kind of more quiet and fun to go to because there's not a ton of people there. So not that people shouldn't get to experience those places, but it just gets a little overcrowded. You know what I'm saying? And then it kind of ruins the magic of it. All right. Next one says the bachelorette/bachelor is just socially accepted polygamy. I don't know if I agree with this one, because isn't polygamy like actually being married to them? And they're not getting married. I think it's more like polyamory. Isn't that where you have like multiple partners? Yes and no, because it's a TV show and it's definitely not as, I don't know. I mean, I've listened to a lot of podcasts where the leads are talking and they're like, I knew who I wanted from the beginning and I just kind of had to play it out through the whole show because I signed up for the show. So I don't know if like, I don't know. I do think it's weird. I do think it is a weird concept to date that many people. And personally, I could never do it because I would be way too jealous and way too in my head about everything. It would not be good for my mental health. And as we've seen on the show, I don't think it's good for a lot of their mental health. And when you're put in this setting, especially as a lead where you're supposed to fall in love with someone and there's multiple people that you're supposed to fall in love with, chances are there are going to be multiple people that you have feelings for. So that can be very confusing. I don't know if I would go as far to say that it's polygamy, but it is a weird kind of social experiment that we do. I don't know if they're going to keep doing it. Like, didn't they skip the last season and then they just never kind of announced another season? I don't know. It definitely was falling off the grid because of things like Love Island and Love is Blind and things like that. Different dating shows that were more entertaining to watch. I need to watch. Well, maybe not. You guys tell me. Does anybody watch Love is Blind? I think that's the one people are obsessed with. Or maybe it's Love Island. I don't know. One of the two. Whatever one has a new episode every day. Do I need to get into that? Or is it not worth my time? I need to know. All right. Next one says, Reese's Eggs, Pumpkins, and Trees are better than the originals. Okay. Since when are there Reese's Pumpkins? I don't think I know what you're talking about. I absolutely know about the eggs and the trees. And those are better than the originals in the sense of like the big cups. But honestly, I think the best ones are the mini cups. I think they're mini cups. I think that's what they're called. Those to me have the perfect chocolate peanut butter ratio, and there's like a thicker part of chocolate on the bottom that is just perfect. I love that. There's not quite enough chocolate in the eggs and trees and I guess pumpkins to me. Like the chocolate layer is too thin and it's not like firm enough. It's kind of soft, which I don't love. There are a lot of people who absolutely agree with you. I feel like that's the majority opinion, is that the eggs in the trees are better than the originals. My personal opinion is I think the small ones are the best, but who cares about my opinion? Okay, next one says, it's not a hot water heater, it's a water heater. I had to think about this one because I absolutely call it a hot water heater. I'm like, is there any more hot water in her hot water heater? But when you think about it, the water that's going into the heater is cold and it's heating the water. So it's not heating hot water. So it's not a hot water heater. It's a water heater. It's heating up the water. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think anybody's going to change the way they say this, truly. And if it bothers you, I think that might be a you problem. I think it's just not that big of a deal if people say hot water heater because everybody knows what they're talking about. And it's not that technical. Okay, next one says, carpet flooring in bathroom is disgusting. Carpet flooring in bathrooms is disgusting. Absolutely 100% agree. I don't think this is controversial at all. I think literally everybody agrees because especially if you have little boys or a husband who's not very good at aiming, the pee gets on the floor quite often. And not to mention what happens if your toilet overflows. That's going to get all over in the carpet and that's just nasty. And people are like, well, you can just shampoo it. Okay. No. It's never going to be the same. It's never, ever going to be the same. Why would you ever have carpet in the bathroom? I don't understand. I know it was a popular thing in like the 70s, but I think it was a majorly stupid idea. I don't understand carpet in the bathrooms. If you have carpet in your bathroom and you're like, no, Sam, it's a fantastic idea, please message me and tell me why so that I can tell you why you're wrong. Okay. Next one says, leggings are not pants. Okay. I'm sorry, but you're just a hater. Who cares? Leggings, they're shaped like pants. Why can't they be pants? Who cares? If you're like, well, they're too tight to be pants. No, they're not. They're literally not. They're pants. They're not. I mean, they go on the bottom half of your body. That's literally the definition of pants. They're not underwear. They're way too long to be underwear. I don't know. I'm confused by this because when leggings were first becoming a fad, people were like, okay, they were kind of meant to be worn under like a long t-shirt or something. That is no longer a thing. Like you can wear leggings with whatever the heck you want. And I think it's fine. I don't understand people who are like, leggings aren't pants, because I think you're just mad about it for no good reason. It was probably a man who wrote this in. Maybe not. Maybe it was a woman, but I don't know. I think you need to get over that. I think that leggings can be pants if you want them to be pants. Okay, next one. This is talking about the summer I turned pretty, and I will be brief about it because I know I talked about it for so long at the beginning. It says, Jeremiah sucks. Steven and Taylor should have more screen time /story. I agree with you that Jeremiah sucks, especially in the latest episode 9. But I can't say that I'm really longing for more Steven and Taylor time. I wish that their story had been wrapped up a little quicker and we got to see them happier for longer. Because I don't know, it feels really similar to the whole Conrad and Belly thing. And I'm like, we don't need that same parallel. We don't need the same story told twice. Does that make sense? So I wish that I don't know. I do like them together as a couple. And I'm glad they have screen time. I don't really like the whole storyline they had this season where they were cheating on their partners in the beginning. And then they were not together, but they both still clearly liked each other. And Steven was trying to get with Denise and there was no chemistry there. I'm like, why did you build up this whole thing with Denise for it to end on one kiss? I don't understand. Like, it was just all for nothing kind of. I wish they would have just had Steven and Taylor. Honestly, after the car accident, I wish that, so maybe the car accident and the conversation they have afterwards goes whatever. And then maybe the next episode, Steven's like, I actually heard you. I don't know. I wish it would have just wrapped up before the wedding and they would have been more solid during that, because I think it's a little messy and kind of a waste of time. Like, nobody wants to see them getting back together right now we want to see Belly and Conrad. We don't really want to see Steven and Taylor. So I wish that their story had been wrapped up a little bit sooner in the series. Okay, next one says, water tastes gross. Water has no taste. It doesn't really have a taste. And it's essential to living. So you should definitely drink water. I do kind of understand a little bit. I don't like drinking just like room temp water. Room temp water. To me, that does taste gross. But it's not really about the taste of the water. It's more like the temperature of it. I need like a ice cold glass of water, and I will be set and happy for the rest of my life. But if you don't like the taste of water, just, use like flavoring packets or something, or plug your nose when you drink it. Like, water is so important for your body. So yeah, that's a hill I'll die on, is you need to drink water whether or not you like the taste of it or not. But if you really don't like the taste, I feel for you, because that sucks, because you obviously want to drink things that taste good. And if you think it's gross, that's going to suck because you're going to feel like crap because you don't have enough water in your body. Okay, moving on. Next one says, the new CGI looks so bad. Everything looks fake. I agree with this 100%. I was watching the new Twisters movie with my son the other day, and I was like, the original Twister looked better than this. And that was made forever ago. Like, why is it looking so bad lately? Why is it looking so bad? The first time I really noticed this was when I watched the Doctor Strange movie with Wanda in it. And there's a part where he like looks like a zombie. And I literally laughed out loud. I was like, that looks so bad. It looks so fake. It looks terrible. Like everything. I think that they're trying to use CGI for everything instead of using like props or animatronics or makeup. They're just using CGI for everything, and it just doesn't look good. I don't know what it is. I should have looked up, if there's a difference between what it used to be in like the 2010s to what it is now. It just is not looking good. It's not looking great. Okay, next one says, it's Dwayne The Rock Johnson, not Dwayne Johnson, not The Rock. I know who wrote this in. Well, because it showed me, but also my sister, Alyssa. One time we were talking about Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and she just kept saying, she said it like 5 times in a row. She's like, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And we're like, Alyssa, it's just Dwayne Johnson, or it's just The Rock. And now that I think about it, yeah, Dwayne Johnson sounds weird, but like, why not just call him The Rock? Because that's what everybody calls him. Saying Dwayne The Rock Johnson just sounds excessive, but whatever. If that's the hill you want to die on, sure. I don't really care that much what we call him. Okay, next one. This one was definitely the most controversial opinion that I got. And I put it on TikTok and people had a lot to say. So if you want to see those comments, go to my TikTok. It's at Hey Sam Wood. Yeah, Hey Sam Wood. And you can see what the Swifties of TikTok had to say about it. I'll tell you a little bit about it, but I won't go too crazy. Anyway, it says, Taylor Swift is not a girl's girl. And I asked people like to elaborate on this. And they said that like the thing that came up the most was they were saying the whole thing with Blake Lively. Like as soon as Blake Lively started getting bad press, or she wanted Taylor to testify in her honor or in her defense, whatever, she was like, nope, not doing it. I don't want to be friends with you anymore. And the truth is, we don't really know what happened with that whole situation. We're only getting the tabloids and all that kind of stuff, that opinion. And who knows? Maybe there was more. Maybe Blake Lively isn't a girl's girl. Why was she? I don't know. I don't want to go too far into detail because we really don't know exactly what happened in that situation. And I'm not going to sit here and defend Taylor Swift necessarily, because I am not like, okay, don't kill me. Okay. Don't kill me. I'm not a crazy song word. I'm not like a diehard Swiftie. Like, I don't know that much about her personal life other than she is engaged to Travis Kelce. I don't know a lot about her social life or her personal life, so I really can't say for sure that she's a girl's girl or not. Also, I don't know her, and most people don't know her. So I think it's weird that we pass judgment on celebrities like this and being like, well, they're not a girl's girl, or they are this, and this, because we don't know them. And it brings into play the whole idea of like parasocial relationships. And it's kind of scary the way that the world is going with these people. And they talk about Taylor Swift as if they know her. They talk about Harry Styles as if they know her. And the truth is, we don't know celebrities. You don't know them at all, really. You just know whatever their team has decided to put out about themselves. I mean, I think you can have a general idea of who they are, but we really don't know them. So I think it's just a little, I don't know. People definitely can have their opinions, and that's totally up to them. But I don't know if I can really say if Taylor Swift is a girl's girl or not, because I don't know enough about her. And I also think that some people just use that as an excuse to, like, they just don't like her and they have no reason to not like her. And so they're like, well, this, and this. And I'm like, well, if you don't like her and you're not, like, involved in her, you don't keep up with her personal life, you don't listen to her music, then why do you really care? Like, just don't be a hater. That's the easiest thing to do, is just don't be a hater. You don't have to sit and talk about celebrities that you hate and people that you hate. Just let it go. Just let it go. You know, if you don't like Taylor Swift, just let it be. I don't understand the people who are so diehard Taylor Swift haters. Like, just don't engage in it if you don't want to. All right. Anyway, I know Taylor Swift is, like, controversial to talk about, and there's people who have really strong opinions both ways. I am not like that. Whatever you want to do. I do like her music. I like her old music. I like her new music. I watched the Eras tour on TV. I'm a soft Swiftie. That's for sure what I would identify as. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that you have a great rest of your week. I hope that you tune in to next week's episode. I have some fun things planned. And if you don't already, make sure you follow on Instagram at My Sister's Diary Podcast. That's where I post all the links for listener submissions, and I post about my life and, like, all the things. That's how you keep up with what I'm doing, is on Instagram. And on TikTok, I post, occasional things on there. So that one's at Hey Sam Wood. And if you don't, this is the most important thing that I will ask you to do. Go subscribe. And so if you subscribe, then the episodes download, and that helps the podcast out a lot. And telling your friends or sharing on your story, that's the best way you can help me grow the podcast. And leaving a review, that's also helpful. But word of mouth is the best way to help grow the podcast. So I'd really appreciate it if you guys tell your friends, tell your family, whoever will listen to you, to listen to the podcast. So thank you guys so much. I love you so much, truly, from the bottom of my heart. I hope you have a great week. So bye. See you next week.
I'm here on the job site with Dale, who's a framing contractor.
Hey, good morning.
Dale traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for all his business vehicles. We're here where he needs us most.
Yep, they sure are.
We make it easy for him to save on all his insurance needs, all in one place, with coverage that fits his business and bottom line. Oh, I shouldn't have looked down.
It's all right.
We're so far up here.
Look at me. Take a deep breath.
Oh, I'm good. So good.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. Get more with Geico.
Hello, I'm here during the lunch rush with Janice, who owns her own food truck.
Best cheesesteaks in town.
Janice traded up to Geico Commercial Auto Insurance for her food truck business. We're here where she needs us most.
They sure are.
We make it so easy for her to save, with customised coverage that grows with her business. Sorry, I just get so emotional talking about saving folks money.
Not this onion I'm chopping?
It's just so beautiful. Oh yeah, no, it's the onion.
Get a commercial auto insurance quote today at geico.com and see how much you could save. Get more with Geico.